Warden Changes, Animal Companions. Advanced Species. That's that down here. Hup. Increase the bonus damage done for each animal companion ability slotted to 3%, previously 2. So that's quite a huge damage boost. And that's all your, like, increase the damage done by 3%. That's all your abilities, if I recall correctly. That's a huge buff. So you really are incentivized now to actually put as much of those things here on the front bar as possible. Gonna be OP. Well, OP, it's nice. Bettinage. Where you at here? Increase the resource restored by this ability and its morphs by approximately 60 freaking %. Damn, boy. Okay, look. Stamina version 6480. Magicka 6480. This used to be 4K if I recall correctly. That's a huge sustained buff. On top of that it's free cast. Now sure, you have to let it run out to benefit from the full thing. But, I mean, the blue bet, you can just keep spamming it to get rid of negative effects. Because it doesn't cost anything. So yeah, it's a nice sustained buff for a Warden. So for both Stamina and Magicka Warden. Dive. Hello. Cutting Dive. This morph now also reduces the cost as a morph effect. Who had thought this day would ever come? So, when Morrowind actually launched, it was beyond my understanding. It was the first ability, if I recall correctly. The only thing it did was change from Magicka to Stamina, and it had no other extra effect. It's like what? Usually stuff that changes into Stamina still has a different effect and so on. So now, converts into a Stamina ability that deals physical damage, yes, and reduces the cost. So it has a reduced cost now. I'm not sure what's the value on life, but it's cheaper to use now. And it's actually most likely good to use anyway because of the 3% buff. That's a lot. You really don't want to lose, like, if you have this on the bar, this, the bull natch, I mean, that's 4 abilities. If you can fit them all, that's a lot of extra damage. Holy crap! And then the bear, damn, that's a lot of damage. Screaming Cliff Racer. So the other morph of this, they also changed that. This morph no longer has a minimum range requirement to obtain part of the 15% damage done bonus. Every meter you are away from the target adds 1% damage done. So the other morph, basically, previously you had to be on a certain range to get the damage boost. Now it's just, okay, you're 1 meter away, 1%, 2 meter, 2%, 3 meter, 3%, and so on. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Falcon's Swiftness. So now it comes. Bird of Prey. The minor berserk buff is now granted at all times while this morph is slotted. Damn! That is nice. Like, holy cow. That's basically a better relentless or merciless focus now. You see, while slotted, gain minor berserk, 8% extra damage done. So you don't necessarily need to use this ability anymore, you just need to have it slotted. And you want to probably have this slotted anyway, because once again, 3% more damage for having it slotted. Jesus Christ. God bless the dude who makes those changes. Deceptive Predator. The minor evasion buff is now granted at all times while this morph is slotted. This morph no longer grants an increased duration to the active Mage Expedition and Major Endurance buffs. So, minor evasion, it's basically reducing damage from AoE attacks by 10%. Major evasion is 25%. Yeah, but it's kind of a no-brainer. Most people will run Bird of Prey. And yeah, I mean, you say like, yeah, okay, Combat Prayer. It's the same buff, yes, but these days You either have a mech blade or a stem blade. Not a lot of people use combat blade anymore, so now this here actually helps quite a bit, make them more viable. And for PvP, that's a huge buff. It's crazy. Crazy. Anyway, before it gets awkward, Guardian, decrease the damage done by the bear summoned from this ability and its morphs by approximately 30%. That's a huge damage decrease. I don't even know why. Nobody really complained about it. Okay. Scourge, reduce the cost of this ability and its morphs by approximately 25%. It's this here. Swarm, increase the cost of this ability and its morphs by approximately 30%. So the cost reduction on this here is quite frankly freaking OP. I mean, when you look at the PvP builds that just jam out a lot of AoE damage, got huge ass buffs. That's insane. PvE wise obviously as well. And it's cheaper now, so that's another thing, really cool. Swarm, I don't know, like, it didn't deal that much damage, so I don't know why they actually increased the cost. Was it cheaper than most other dots? Okay. Yeah, they increased the cost, yes. So overall damage increase, especially because of advanced species. That's gonna be insane. I mean, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 12%. If you run the bear as well, 15%. I mean, you could technically get 18% extra damage. That's a lot of damage. Jesus. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's move on. Green balance. And obviously the minor berserk, while slotted, is also... Holy cow. Who had thought? Green balance. Maturation. The minor toughness granted by this passive now applies even if the target was completely overhealed. And its duration has been increased to 20 seconds from 10 seconds. So they removed the toughness buff from Horn. So Wardens are basically the only class that can give this. Now, if I recall correctly. So yeah. Probably gonna want a Warden off tank or a healer now in the group to actually apply to get the minor toughness, especially in raids. Nature's Grasp. You can also target your own bear with this. Okay, that's cool. Other than that, no changes here. Winter's Embrace. Arctic Wind. So we have Arctic Blast. This morph now fires a projectile that stuns the target in addition to healing you. It requires an enemy target to cast the ability. Okay. This ability also no longer deals damage over time based on your max health. So, wait again. Targeted enemy is stunned for 3 seconds, so this applies a stun now on the enemy. Okay. This looks pretty cool. Guess so. Used to heal, huh? Impaling Shard. Fix an issue where the visual effects of this ability and its morphs did not persist. Yeah, okay. That's about it. Those are all changes. So, Wardens. Pretty nasty sustain buff. And holy freaking nugget. Like, that's a lot of extra damage, guys. A lot of extra.